Good morning, freedom fighters. It is 7:14 a.m. East Coast time, August 11th, 2025. Welcome to the most censored topic in all of the world, weather control. If these technologies get out to the public, liability of wiping out your towns will be too great. Now you can see why they silence us on every level and every platform. Incredible technology doing a replay of yesterday's weather. This is live. Massive microwave pulses being put through the machine to influence the weather. And at the last clip, you can see all the cell phone towers pinging at the same time. Mad men, mad scientists is a real term. Gold fever is a real disease. Greed will destroy us all, controlling the people with weather, food, and media. Our weathermen need to be arrested. The Weather Channel needs to be shut down, and they need to be arrested. Where is my law enforcement? They are controlling our weather and wiping out towns with biblical floods, thousand-year floods constantly happening with these technologies. How can we get this to the public? Stand by for some incredible information of their technologies. I will beat this horse till he comes back to life. Undeniable, these machines are affecting our weather over and over again. Let it play one more time, then we're going to zoom in on it. Repeat of yesterday, basically the same system, but a little bit farther south. All right, this is Oklahoma, Nebraska. Incredible microwave energy shooting through these storms, producing the weather. We have been surrounded by incredible technologies. I'm going to pause it on some of this. These are not just by accident. These beams are what is manipulating the weather system. Intense microwave energy. I want you to realize your microwave in your home was developed by accident while they were creating this technology to manipulate the weather. They knew how to ionize the atmosphere in the 1920s. They act like they don't know what they're doing. They have hidden incredible technologies from the public. How do we get our world back from these mad scientists that controls everything? I'm not sure, but it's going to take all of us. And just like the Declaration of Independence, every one of those people that signed that lost everything for the freedom we were given. We're going to have to give up some stuff to have freedom for the children. I'll be the first one to go if y'all stand behind me. I am not scared of losing everything. They've already taken everything I cared about, which was the fish and the nature and the trees and the bugs. We are all that's left. If we don't stand up now, we will have nothing for the children to fight for. They are wiping out towns with biblical floods on a daily basis. And they're not biblical, they are man made. They are not thousand-year floods. They are creating rainfall I have never witnessed before. Raindrops bigger than I've ever seen. Wonder why it can rain so many inches of rain in such a short amount of time. I've never seen rainfall like they're taking place now. It's just incredible how quickly bad weather is being created with these technologies. And we are censored on every level. Like I said, they need to be arrested. They have us fooled, worrying about stuff that does not matter while they destroy each town as will. I went back a little bit to the start of the storm that we're witnessing. Incredible chemtrail operation in Utah. Massive lines over the fire area too that they're going to burn. Massive chemtrail operation. Watch the fires intensify through the day as I click it forward here. Massive chemtrail operation. This whole entire cloud mass is a geoengineering cloud that is highly flammable. That would become part of the system that is created. They need the aluminum in the sky. It is the wiring in the sky for the machine to work. Massive fires. That's also part of the program. Builds up in, looks like we're in Colorado. I want to give me the state. Yeah, Colorado, Utah. And all this smoke is still pumping into the system. It is part of it. I could show you in the 1960s where they created rain with petro burners. Massive fires in California. They are burning Southern California to the ground now. I see some in northern middle of California, Ponderosa fire. 83 acres. I doubt that if I'm watching it. Heavy chemtrails looks like in Oregon. Heavy fires in Washington. When will the people realize they're being attacked? Is it after their town washes away or burns to the ground? Also, through the night, they were chemtrail operations, chemtrail ship operations out here where the storm is. A little bit farther north, actually. Offshore of Northern California and Oregon and Washington, there are ships out here spraying material. Super tankers, not going anywhere. Not point A to point B, spraying chemicals and smoke in our Pacific Ocean. Individual ships. We do not curve. We don't change course. Them are geoengineering super tankers, very deadly to the oceans. And as last night's sun was setting, as we spin away from the sun, massive fires was taking place right at sunset. I feel bad for the firefighters this year. They have to realize this is attacks from aircraft or satellites. They have laser platforms aboard everything. I've seen them on vehicles. I've seen them on ships, airplanes. And yes, my family helped put up the first Star Wars system. They just worked on computer components. Just like during the Manhattan Project, 130,000 people worked on that project, and none of them had any idea what they were building. And also, they had signs going in and out of keep your mouth shut. These people are on a gag order contracts, just like your weatherman. They cannot speak of these operations. While we are watching biblical floods, nation and worldwide, scenes coming out of India is truly terrifying. Lots of smoke in the atmosphere from all the millions of acres on fire in Canada, over 16 million acres at this moment. One fire is almost 1.4 million acres. While they burn the world down, we are highly distracted with garbage on TV, manipulating the minds of the people. Whether it's entertainment from ball games, politics, or Hollywood, it is here to distract you from what is truly going on. Storms in Florida, heavy flooding. I'm lucky I live near the Gulf. There's heavy flooding taking place all across Florida. Let's go back to live as the sun is rising in Florida right this minute. I can see it very clearly. Pause and I'll look around a little bit for something. You can really see the areas of attack with fire. You really can't see all the incredible floods that has happened, but you can see the burning of the people. Not by accident. Definitely see a few chemtrails off Alaska this morning. Massive chemtrails. I've seen some of the largest aircraft ever spraying us here in Alaska. I fish up here back in the day. But heavy chemtrails this morning in Alaska. While the ships are offshore spraying as well, these tracks are not ducks. That ship's pumping out smoke. We do not smoke naturally. Ships do not smoke, period, unless there is something mechanically wrong with their vessel. This is at live. Here's the storm we were witnessing. See what else I see. In the last video, I showed in very detailed their patterns of weather manipulation, modification, whatever they want to call it. I've also showed where states, 33 states, has banned, put in bills to try to stop this lunatics. But we do not regulate above 500 feet. You know what I mean? It's not our district. So they can do whatever they want. They still spray Florida on a daily basis when they need it, even though our law had went in place this July. Did no good. Just like Tennessee when they outlawed it, it did no good. Twitter removed me with 20,000 followers because I showed the truth and only the truth. I know they don't care about our children, and I don't have any to fight for, but I fight for yours, and I hope you fight along with me. I'm afraid society is too hypnotized to see what's coming. We are silenced on every level. The censorship of the truth must come to an end. That is the true meaning of communism, and I know exactly where we're headed. We're about to be a communist planet. Truly terrifying to know what's going to happen to the children. They don't have to line us up, march us to the train this time, though. We are already in the gas chamber. People ask me, like, why would they do this to themselves? Well, what if they're crazy? What if they want to be the last man standing? What if they're just crazy? That would be explain it all, wouldn't it? Mad scientist is a real term. Gold fever is a real disease. We have the most sick humans in control. And they have put all their puppets on stage for you. Smile pretty for the camera. Do you really think that any of these people are in control of anything? They lined up by their mark, just like the good little puppets are told to do. Money controls these people. Greed controls these people, of control over us. You're looking at the people that has been put on platforms to control the world. This was in 2017, right before their pandemic. They got together and uh, God, we're being fooled and lied to. We know who the handlers really are. We all know it's the Rothschild family and their group of Illuminatis. I didn't want to go down that road of Illuminati for so long because I just knew it was a bad place to be. But once you figure out all the puzzle pieces, it comes together. When the FBI director is talking about how much he loves the Geoengineering project, he was standing in the front of the foreign council on foreign relations building, thing. That who is controlling everything. That's why you don't hear about them that much. 1922, just after as they taken over our government, the banking system and everything, they were created. You got to realize that it's all connected and it all goes back to the CFR. Like I said, it goes back to the 1920s, 30s. They controlled both banks and funded Hitler. That's not a joke. That is for real. We funded Hitler, or they did. to destroy millions of lives and own everything when it was over. What a perfect plan of evil that is going on. And the evil just continues. The stuff we've seen in the Gulf of Mexico is from them. They created it. Ocean fertilization systems, cloud brightening fleets. I show y'all in the ships many a times in the ocean. And it's happening in the other parts. It's just not the right temperature where you can quite see it as good. It looks like wildfires on our side in the ocean. They just kind of anchor up. I guess it's shallower. They don't have to drive. I don't know what's going on. A little different in the Pacific and a little different looking from the Pacific to the Atlantic when they're doing nightmares to me, my friends. These videos are truly a nightmare to even make. I love fishing videos. I have hours of fishing videos that it doesn't matter anymore. Okay, my friends, 23-minute clip. I hope I can get it on here with no problem. I should be able to. I've kind of figured out all of my glitches. Don't understand them, but I figured them out. But this album was created 1967. It's a two album LP. One of the most important things ever put on an LP, in my opinion. Please stand by. And I know some of you have heard it. It's 23 minutes. It's just 23 minutes out of an hour and a half audio recording of a man that knows about the secret societies in our country, and they really break it down good. And End Times Production does an incredible work. This is their work. They've done an incredible job, and I just want to share their work. And if there's commercials in here, I forgive you. I'll just stop them. I just don't. Ad blocker's not working anymore at all. But incredible information of what I see is going on and the truth of it all. It's amazing how it's all connected. They are playing us like a fiddle. Stand by for some incredible truth.
Imagine a world where nothing is random, and major events that happen worldwide were written down hundreds of years ago. What you're about to hear was recorded in 1967, and it perfectly describes the world we live in today.
What was the secret?
The all-seeing eye, symbols of the guardians of the treasure.
Recorded by Myron C. Fagan, a famous Hollywood writer who rose through the ranks of the Hollywood elite, uncovering some nasty secrets along the way. He made it his life's work to expose the darkness that he personally saw with his own two eyes. This recording is a culmination of his life's work, and through a historical lens, he reveals what's been hiding in the shadows for hundreds of years. What you're about to hear is not conspiracy theory, rather is documented historical fact that holds up to the most rigid scrutiny. And without further ado, I bring you the Illuminati and the Council on Foreign Relations.
The question of how and why the Illuminati is the crux of the great conspiracy to destroy the sovereignty of the United States and the enslavement of the American people within a UN one-world dictatorship is a complete and unknown mystery to the vast majority of the American people. The reason for this unawareness of the frightening danger to our country and to the entire free world is simple. The masterminds behind this great conspiracy have absolute control of all of our mass communications media, especially television, the radio, the press, and Hollywood.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to two American journals.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to the national news services, AP and UPI?
Well, again, I think we're getting into the kind of detail, Mr. Chairman, that I'd prefer to handle in executive session.
We all know that our State Department, the Pentagon, and the White House have brazenly proclaimed that they have the right and the power to manage the news, to tell us not the truth, but what they want us to believe. They have seized that power on orders from their masters of the Great Conspiracy. And the objective is to brainwash the people into accepting the phony peace bait to transform the United States into an enslaved unit of the United Nations one world government. Let me clarify the meaning of the expression, "He is a liberal." The enemy, meaning the one world conspirators, have seized upon that word liberal as a cover-up for their activities. It sounds so innocent and so humanitarian to be liberal.
Stop smashing Amazon's buy button and...
This satanic plot was launched back in the 1760s when it first came into existence under the name of the Illuminati. This Illuminati was organized by one Adam Weishaupt, born a Jew, who was converted to Catholicism and became a Catholic priest, and then, at the behest of the then newly organized House of Rothschild, defected and organized the Illuminati. Naturally, the Rothschilds financed that operation. And every war since then, beginning with the French Revolution, has been promoted by the Illuminati, operating under various names and guises. I say under various names and guises because after the Illuminati was exposed and became too notorious, Weishaupt and his co-conspirators began to operate under various other names. In the United States, immediately after World War I, they set up what they called the Council on Foreign Relations, commonly referred to as the CFR. And this CFR is actually the Illuminati in the United States. Perhaps the most vital directive in Weishaupt's plan was to obtain absolute control of the press, at that time the only mass communications media, to distribute information to the public, so that all news and information could be slanted, so that the masses could be convinced that a one-world government is the only solution to our many and varied problems. Now do you know who owns and controls our mass communications media? I'll tell you, practically all the movie lots in Hollywood is owned by the Lehmans, Kuhn Loeb and Company, Goldman Sachs, and other internationalist bankers. All the national radio and TV channels in the nation are owned and controlled by those same internationalist bankers. The same is true of every chain of metropolitan newspapers and magazines, also of the press wire services, such as Associated Press, United Press International, etc. The supposed heads of all those media are merely the fronts for the internationalist bankers, who in turn compose the hierarchy of the CFR, today's Illuminati in America. Now can you understand why the Pentagon's press agent Sylvester so brazenly proclaimed that the government has the right to lie to the people? What he really meant was that our CFR-controlled government had the power to lie to and be believed by the brainwashed American people. And let's again go back to the first days of the Illuminati. In 1785, the Bavarian government outlawed the Illuminati and closed the lodges of the Grand Orient. In 1786, they published all the details of the conspiracy. The English title of that publication is The Original Writings of the Order and Sect of the Illuminati. Copies of the entire conspiracy were sent to all the heads of church and state in Europe. But the power of the Illuminati, which was actually the power of the Rothschilds, was so great that this warning was ignored. Nevertheless, Illuminati became a dirty word, and it went underground. At the same time, Weishaupt ordered Illuminists to infiltrate into the lodges of Blue Masonry and form their own secret societies within all secret societies. Only Masons who proved themselves internationalists and those whose conduct proved they had defected from God were initiated into the Illuminati. Thenceforth, the conspirators donned the cloak of philanthropy and humanitarianism to conceal their revolutionary and subversive activities, and that all that secrecy emphasizes the power of the masterminds of the Illuminati to prevent such terrible events of history from being taught in our schools. In 1834, the Italian revolutionary leader Giuseppe Mazzini was selected by the Illuminati to direct their revolutionary program throughout the world. He served in that capacity until he died in 1872. But some years before he died, Mazzini had enticed an American general named Albert Pike into the Illuminati. Pike was fascinated by the idea of a one-world government, and ultimately he became the head of this Luciferian conspiracy. Between 1859 and 1871, Pike, worked out a military blueprint for 3 world wars and various revolutions throughout the world, which he considered would forward the conspiracy to its final stage in the 20th century. Again, I remind that these conspirators were never concerned with immediate success. They always operated on a long-range view. Pike did most of his work in his home in Little Rock, Arkansas. But a few years later, when the Illuminati's lodges of the Grand Orient became suspect and repudiated because of Mazzini's revolutionary activities in Europe, Pike organized what he called the New and Reformed Palladian Rite. He set up 3 supreme councils, one in Charleston, South Carolina, one in Rome, Italy, and the 3rd in Berlin, Germany. He had Mazzini establish 23 subordinate councils in strategic locations throughout the world. These have been the secret headquarters of the world revolutionary movement ever since. Long before Marconi invented radio, the scientists in the Illuminati had found the means for Pike and the heads of his councils to communicate secretly. It was the discovery of that secret that enabled intelligence officers to understand how apparently unrelated incidents, one such as the assassination of an Austrian prince at Sarajevo, took place simultaneously throughout the world, which developed into a war or a revolution. Pike's plan was as simple as it has proved effective. It called for communism, Nazism, political Zionism, and other international movements be organized and used to foment 3 global world wars and at least 2 major revolutions. The First World War was to be fought so as to enable the Illuminati to destroy Tsarism in Russia, as vowed by Rothschild after the Tsar had torpedoed his scheme at the Congress in Vienna, and to transform Russia into a stronghold of atheistic communism. The differences stirred up by agents of the Illuminati between the British and German empires were to be used to foment this war.
I started Tai Chi at 50. Now I'm 68, and doctors ask me for advice.
3 reasons to start Tai Chi workout this summer. In 1 week, you'll see your energy. In 2 weeks, you'll feel your breath. In 3 weeks, you'll have energy, and your wife won't believe your results. Here is the personalized plan of short Tai Chi workouts tailored for beginners over 50. It takes just 7 minutes per day. Beginner friendly, and requires no equipment. You can work out anytime, anywhere. Just open the app and follow along.
The thing that I've liked most about the workshop was...
Sorry, Warriors, about the commercial. I had walked away for a minute. These people are not very nice to us in any way. Continue.
The war would be ended. Communism was to be built up and used to destroy other governments and weaken religions. World War II, when and if necessary, was to be fomented by using the controversies between fascists and political Zionists. During this World War II, international communism was to be built up until it equaled in strength that of united Christendom. When it reached that point, it was to be contained and kept in check until required for the final social cataclysm. As we know now, Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin put that exact policy into effect, and Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Johnson continued that same exact policy. World War III is to be fomented by using the so-called controversies the agents of the Illuminati, operating under whatever new name, are now stirring up between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Muslim world. That war is to be directed in such a manner that all of Islam and political Zionism, Israel, will destroy each other, while at the same time the remaining nations, once more divided on this issue, will be forced to fight themselves into a state of complete exhaustion, physically, mentally, spiritually, and economically. Now, can any thinking person doubt that the intrigue now going on in the Near, Middle, and Far East is designed to accomplish that satanic objective? Pike himself foretold all this in a statement he made to Mazzini on August 15, 1871. Pike stated that after World War III is ended, those who will inspire to undisputed world domination will provoke the greatest social cataclysm the world has ever known. Quoting his own words, taken from the letter he wrote to Mazzini, and which letter is now catalogued in the British Museum in London, England, he said, "We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a great social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to all nations the effect of absolute atheism, the origin of savagery and of most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere the people forced to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization, and the multitudes disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will be from that moment on without direction and leadership, and anxious for an ideal but without knowledge where to send its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out into public view, a manifestation which will result from a general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time." When Mazzini died in 1872, Pike made another Italian revolutionary leader named Adrian Lemmy his successor. Lemmy, in turn, was succeeded by Lenin and Trotsky, then by Stalin. The revolutionary activities of all those men were financed by British, French, German, and American international bankers, all of them dominated by the House of Rothschild. We are supposed to believe that the international bankers of today, like the money changers of Christ's day, are only the tools or agents of the great conspiracy, but actually they are the masterminds behind all of it. While the general public has been brainwashed by all the mass communications media into believing that communism is a movement of the so-called workers, the actual fact is that both British and American intelligence officers have authentic documentary evidence that international liberals operating through their international banking houses, particularly the House of Rothschild, have financed both sides in every war and revolution since 1776. Those who today comprise the conspiracy, the CFR in the United States, direct our governments, whom they hold in usury through such methods as the Federal Reserve System in America, to fight wars such as Vietnam, created by the United Nations, so as to further Pike's Illuminati plans to bring the world to that stage of the conspiracy when atheistic communism and the whole of Christianity can be forced into an all-out Third World War within each remaining nation, as well as on an international scale. Now let me show you how our federal government and the American people have been sucked into the one-world takeover plot of the Illuminati Great Conspiracy. And always bear in mind that the United Nations was created to become the housing for that one-world so-called liberal conspiracy.
Nobody believed me at first.
The real foundations of the plot for the takeover of the United States were laid during the period of our Civil War. Not that Weishaupt and the earlier masterminds had ever overlooked the New World. Weishaupt had his agents planted over here as far back as the Revolutionary War. But George Washington was more than a match for them. It was during the Civil War that the conspirators launched their first concrete efforts. We know that Judah Benjamin, chief advisor of Jefferson Davis, was a Rothschild agent. We also know that there were Rothschild agents planted in Abraham Lincoln's cabinet who tried to sell him into a financial dealing with the House of Rothschild. But old Abe saw through the scheme and bluntly rejected it, thereby incurring the undying enmity of the Rothschilds. Investigation of the assassination of Lincoln revealed that the assassin, Booth, was a member of a secret conspiratorial group. Because there were a number of highly important government officials involved, the name of the group was never revealed, and it became a mystery, exactly as the assassination of Jack Kennedy still is a mystery. Anyway, the ending of the Civil War destroyed, temporarily, all chances of the House of Rothschild to get a clutch on our money system, such as they had acquired in Britain and other nations in Europe. I say temporarily because the Rothschilds and the masterminds of the conspiracy never quit. So they had to start from scratch, but they lost no time in getting started. Shortly after the Civil War, a young immigrant who called himself Jacob H. Schiff arrived in New York. Jacob was a young man with a mission for the House of Rothschild. Jacob was the son of a rabbi, born in one of Rothschild's houses in Frankfurt, Germany. I won't go deeply into his background. The important point is that Rothschild recognized in him not only a potential money wizard, but more important, he also saw the latent Machiavellian qualities in Jacob that could, as it did, make him an invaluable functionary in the great one-world conspiracy. After a comparatively brief training period in the Rothschilds' London bank, Jacob left for America with instructions to buy into a banking house, which was to be the springboard to acquire control of the money system of the United States. Actually, Jacob came here to carry out 4 specific assignments. Number 1, and most important, was to acquire control of America's money system. Number 2, find desirable men who, for a price, would be willing to serve as stooges for the great conspiracy and promote them into high places in our federal government, our Congress, in the U.S. Supreme Court, and all federal agencies. Number 3, create minority group strife throughout the nations, particularly between whites and blacks. Number 4, create a movement to destroy religion in the United States, but Christianity to be the chief target. The headquarters of the great conspiracy in the late 1700s was in Frankfurt, Germany, where the House of Rothschild had been established by Mayer Anschelm, who adopted the Rothschild name and linked together other international financiers who had literally sold their souls to the devil. After the Bavarian government's exposure in 1786, the conspirators moved their headquarters to Switzerland, then to London. Since World War II, after Jacob Schiff, the Rothschilds' boy in America, died, the headquarters of the American branch has been in the Harold Pratt Building, New York, and the Rockefellers, originally protégés of Schiff, have taken over the manipulation of finances in America for the Illuminati. In the final phases of the conspiracy, the one world government will consist of the king dictator, head of the United Nations, the CFR, and a few billionaires, economists, and scientists who have proved their devotion to the great conspiracy. All others are to be integrated into a vast conglomeration of mongrelized humanity, actually slaves.
What you just heard was a very small piece of that recording. The full recording is well over 2 hours in length and is widely available online. Just Google Myron Fagan CFR or Myron Fagan Illuminati and you can find several versions of it. Please leave a comment below and tell us what you think about this. And also, don't forget to hit that like button. Until next time, thank you all for watching. God bless you all.
Okay, my friends. Sorry about the commercials there. I'll put a link to End Times Productions video of this. He has another one that's a little bit longer that's even more detailed. I'll try to actually put both links if I can find the other one. And I'll try to find the full album if y'all like. I'll put it in the comment section as well. Thank you to Warriors at 42 minutes. Thank you very much. Just need to save our planet. Sorry, the mic was up. Hope it come out. Just trying to save our planet and the people. That's all I'm trying to do here. And we are being censored on every level because they don't want you to know the truth about anything. I didn't realize there was 3 volumes. I've only seen 2. I would love to buy this album. Yes, I can find the full album here. It's 2 hours and 32 minutes long, the information is, and we only heard 20 minutes of it. So many people tried to warn us about what was going on, and greed has destroyed the minds of the people. They're looking for people that's greedy, that don't care about anyone. Conscience levels run low in greedy people. Really disgusting what I am witnessing going on our planet because of greed. Why do you think they're paying football players $50 million a year now? It is to keep your mouth shut and do your job as an actor. Even our football games are scripted down to their injuries. That's how ridiculously system they are watching. That's how crazy the system is. And if they ain't realized football's fake by now, they're never going to see it. I realized it years ago. I played football. And when my team quits trying in the third quarter, there's something wrong. You know what I mean? You can see they quit playing for a reason because they were told to. They weren't supposed to win the game. Moving on. Well, my friends, as we're watching the manipulated storm Just looks funny. I don't know. What are these ships out here pumping out smoke? Like right here. This looks odd. Storm we were looking at earlier is still going. Not near as much lightning this time as the one the other day, but it's still concentrated areas of lightning. Put it on live. Florida today, I see lots of ripples in our sky, and I can see them over Mexico, New Mexico, I mean. Overlapping ripples here by Sioux City. Chemtrails within the storm, I can also see straight line clouds. The other day in Florida, there was just a little tiny break in the weather, and I could see 2 chemtrails. Mad scientists. It all needs to be shut down. Somehow, some way. I'm going to leave you at that, my friends, as they are burning the world down while everybody sleeps. Not right. Not right what they're getting away with, and they have been for a very long time. Control the media, you control the minds of the people. Control the food, you control what they eat. I'm surrounded by some of the most lethargic humans in history. The reason they were able to march those people to the train because they had them under drugs like fluoride. I'm going to let you go as the sun is setting on India. It is rising on the United States. The world is not flat, but it is controlled by complete lunatics. Commercial Fisherman standing by.